Hello, what's going on, everybody? Well, not everybody yet, but those that are going to be watching soon. What's going on? Tom Hunyadi here, two legs. And, if you're watching, please leave a comment. Let me know who you are and if you're watching. Um, my partner, Andy Nichols, did a great live stream on Sunday, and he's been doing really good live streams on Sundays. Except for when we were at the fest. Hey, Remus, there you go, Remus and Romulus. How you doing, Joe? James, hello, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Got a few things to talk about. See if people want to join in on the discussion and things I'm really excited about. I'm gonna do a little unboxing here in a little bit. As we get more people here. I got a few things to discuss, um, and get your guys' take on them as well. Since Joe's here, I guess we can start about with the latest Talk More Talk episode, the one that we did at the Fest for Beatles fans. We recorded that live with a bunch of people sitting and watching, and that was a lot of fun. First of all, that was Joe and I's first Chicago Fest, and let me get Paulie in the picture there. So we had a great time there, and we had a great time meeting everybody. So many wonderful people that partook in the fest. So I want to thank everybody that came up and said hi, and those we got to talk to during our panels and whatnot. And I hope everybody had a great time. I hope everybody had as good time as I had, and Joe, Andy, and MVP. Fantastic time, wonderful people, and it was good stuff. So, talk more talk. What we did was our usual thing called rack our brain, where we have weekend was a blur. How you doing, buddy? Um, anyways, what we do is called thing called Rack Our Brains, where we have fans of the show. They write in and ask us some opinionated questions, and we had some really good ones. Ken Michaels, who couldn't be there, unfortunately, he messaged some. Oh, good, you're well rested. I'm happy to hear that, and I think I'm finally well rested. I had a busy week of work when I came back, so there was no rest for the wicked, as they say. But I'm glad you got some rest, and there you go. Ken Michaels couldn't make it, but like I said, he did leave some good questions for us to answer while we're there. So was myself, Joe Mayo, the Queen, and Ken Womack, original co-host Ken Womack was joining us as well. We did do one. What was it? 2023, back in Jersey City. And that was the first time I think that we had all co-hosts on a panel, and we celebrated the year 1973. So that was a lot of fun, and we had a good crowd for that. And I think it's going to be back in Jersey City in March of next year. So I'm planning on attending again, I guess. I was gonna say, oh, maybe I'll sit this one out, but you know what? I had such a great time these last 3 years attending the fest that I really would encourage people going. If you have never gone to a fest, or if it's been many years since you've been to a fest, maybe check it out. I have been told that it's not what it was, which is fine, but I didn't know what it was. And all I can tell you is that I've been having a great time the last 3 years going to the fest. So do check it out. Do check it out. Anybody, come on, write some comments, give some questions. That being said, I know Andy touched on this on Sunday about one hand clapping, and yes, I did get my tickets. I'm going to be going on Thursday, the 26th, here in Michigan. A theater not too far away from me is going to be showing that. So really looking forward to that. Let me know in the comment section if you got your tickets. I know Mayo is going with some friends. I think James is probably going to go. You and your dad are probably going to go, right? So looking forward to that. Yeah, there you go. He's going Saturday. I'm going Thursday the 26th. Thursday the 26th. And, since you, Joe, are retired, you can go anytime you want to. Really. So, the Shinga Theater, I took you. Oh, very cool. While I was visiting Ethan, we went to go see The Phantom of Paradise by Brian De Palma. Um, movie that I love. Ethan hadn't seen it yet, and he said he really liked it, and I was happy about that. And it was really cool. So I mean, this year was the 50th anniversary of Phantom of the Paradise, so really, really, really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have excuse myself for 1 second. I am going to change my shirt because for some reason it's really hot down here. So give me guys a second, and I will be right back. Okay, thank you. Uh, yeah, we're good now. How about now? Can you hear me guys now? Hopefully you can. Let me know. Let me know. Can you hear me? Hello, Peter. Can you hear me now? Let me know, please, if you can hear me now. Can you hear me? Loud and clear. Thank you, Ethan. Yes. So, like I said, I know the audio has been remastered. That's going to be the highlight, probably for me, seeing it in a 5.1 theater, and or just a movie theater watching it on the big screen. The image, the video. I mean, yes, yes, it's important. But as we know, it was shot on pneumatic video, which is not the best. Doesn't age very well, so I'm just going in expecting still a crummy. Even though I believed what they said was they transferred it to 4K, it's still going to be kind of crummy. So just go in expecting it to be still kind of crummy. Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy. It's going to be better. I think it's going to be better than the version that's on YouTube, okay? Which is, probably a copy of a copy of a copy, just like the what's Let It Be was on YouTube was a copy of a copy, and how we were able to watch these old bootlegs of Let It Be. Maybe that could be part of the doom and gloom aspect of it, watching these bootlegs all these years. But I am expecting some improvement. Okay. So just go and like Joe says, just enjoy the music. That's really what it's about. Yeah, it's going to be great to see that lineup. Yes. Yes. Good call, Bernie. How you doing? And yeah, let's I should be highlighting these things right. So you got Joe here, you got James. Yeah, I'm forgetting my duties here. Ethan, yeah, the weekend was a blur. So just going back, great time. Yes. So, yes. Enjoy the music and atmosphere. Go ahead. And Soily, yes. Soily. Can't wait to see that. That's gonna be one of the highlights for me. All the rockers, really. I think they did a great job. Jeff Britton, as we know, this is kind of our really our one big event. Even though he did record the first couple weeks of Venus and Mars, but this is like his big break, as you say. This maybe his Pete Best moment, maybe. We know he was only with the band for like what 7 8 months, so this is going to be his time to shine, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Um, let's see here, Bernie. You want to hear the loud music? Yes, and it's going to be great. Again, theater. You're thinking loud music, 5.1. That's the place to see it. Absolutely. Hey, Michael. The blurry Paul is still better than a crystal clear David Cassidy win. I'll take that, my friend. Absolutely, I will take that. Um, okay, so that is one hand clapping. Next, I want to talk about an author who we've had on the show several times. I think three times we've had him on, and his name is John Blaney. Okay, from the UK. He's the author of this book series called Paul McCartney, the songs he was singing. Okay, so what this is this really shows you everything that was officially released in the UK and the US from each decade. Okay, stuff like listen to what the man said. You got Girls' School and Mull of Kintyre. So he was pretty much showing you everything um, that was released, advertisement wise, for these releases all through the decades, and he put out four, okay, and he was going to call it a day on that, but then, um, we had a talk, and I was kind of like encouraging him to do the fifth book, which he did. Where is it? Here it is. Um, Volume 5, 2010 to 2019. Again, just going over all of the releases um, from that decade. We got Kisses on the Bottom, and then we're looking at the Record Store Day release of Another Day, stuff like that. So you get here's the Venus and Mars box set that was released. Hello, Susan. Oh, wait. Susan, there you go. Hello, Tay. How are you? Good. Thank you for popping in. Michael loved your latest video. Joe, go get him. There you go. Go get him. That was probably his troll video, correct? I would imagine. You gotta watch out for them trolls, right? So I'm really excited to just say, and then here's the Egypt Station. He emailed us this morning saying that his latest book will be out later this year, and then he's going to be sending us copies here that we should be getting within the next 2 weeks. So really looking forward to that. Here's the Wings Over America box set. Anyways, so John, his latest book is going to be called 1973, the last year the Beatles were fab. Now, interesting title. I don't necessarily. I'm not. I mean, I'll save judgment until I read it. I really don't. You can imagine, okay, or assume 1973. So he's going to be talking about that year. Obviously, for me, that's the year I was born. I think that was the best year for Beatles releases, or just or the best year for solo Beatles releases, I should say. And then we also got the Red and Blue originally in 1973. And we got James. Hello. Yes, a little surprise. Thank you for popping up. Um, hey, 1974 was good too, but you didn't have an album from Paul. You just had the Junior's Farm single. Although Band on the Run was hot for 6 months into 1974. Let's see here. Wes, so surprised the one hand clapping film is showing a running time a little over an hour. Well, uh, I know apparently the backyard tapes was supposed to be included in that as well. How long was it originally? I need to go back and take a look. Susan, I've got all 5 volumes of those books. Yeah, they're great. So I'm really looking forward to to his latest book coming out later this year. He says November, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna say Judgment, and then I'll say whether or not I agree or disagree with his assessment of 1973 being the last year the Fab Four was great. We'll deal with that later. Okay. Band on the Run, yes. Hot 1974, absolutely, absolutely. So hot that he didn't have to release Junior's Farm until October of that year. Is that the real me, Mr. Mayo? I'm just gonna say, take a wild guess and say yes. Yes, that is the real me, Mr. Mayo. Only because of his first comments that was "Hey Romulus," which uh, if you know, you know. And but Joe and I we did yesterday. We saw the new Alien film called Alien Romulus, and we did a little spoiler review on his movie channel. And then Joe, go ahead and just type it in because I have no idea what you're calling it this week. So let everybody know what your movie channel's name is this week, please. I call it the Music Box Theater in Chicago, but they aren't screening one hand. I'm sorry to hear that, Tony. And how you doing, by the way? Good to see you. Beetle Eddie. Hello, Tom. Hello, Eddie. Hope you're doing well. There must be outtakes. The recent vinyl series will way longer. Yeah. So again, we'll see. We'll see. Tony. Here we go. Mayo's new. The title of his movie channel this week is Mayo's Midnight Marquee. Okay. I like that. I mean, I think you've had some better titles, but you weren't really necessarily happy with them, and that's fine. It's your channel, and uh, and I hope one day you come up one that you're gonna love and never change the title again. Okay. So let's see here. Susan says I read somewhere that one hand clapping film is going to include the entire backyard sessions. Right. So that's what I just mentioned, and I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, that is one of the better looking segments of the film, but there's that. Yeah. Okay. So is that? Let's do an unboxing here. Okay. Got a package in the mail earlier today, and I thought, okay, well, if I'm gonna go live, maybe I'll just crack this sucker open and do a live unboxing. But go ahead and if you still got any comments, go ahead. Let's see here. Tony says the Music Box Theater screened the concert for George. Um, and then he also says I have to see when I'm clapping in the suburbs. Okay, well, it'd be a nice little adventure, Tony. But should be what I think it is, and obviously it will be. But I have been collecting a few of these albums from this particular country, and they really taped this good because they knew I was upset with how long they took to uh, to send this. So uh, it's we don't want to break it now, do we? Okay, here we go. Oh, great! Now they really just did it. Leave you all in suspense here. Some of these albums that I've got from Paul from this country, I've really Um, I really like the artwork. Some of the artwork is a little different than the UK and US artwork, and I think this is no exception. I think this is a little different actually. So let's see here. Jeez, Pete, they really okay. So here it is. And it is different. So this is cool. This is cool. This is from Taiwan. This is the Taiwanese Wings at the Speed of Sound, and I love Love how they use that for the cover of the album. Um, then we got at the back, which looks like they're the lyrics. They are the lyrics in English. Um, Everything else is, you know, it's cool. I think this is very cool. It's very thin and flimsy jacket, and then show you the vinyl here itself. I'm gonna play this once I get off here, and then there you go. There's there's the label. Okay, so yeah, a little thinner side on the vinyl, but again, I'm looking forward to playing this, seeing how it sounds. It looks like they may have cleaned it. All right, so that's the latest thing I found on eBay. Okay, Beetle at Adam Sandler is starting to film Happy Gilmore 2. Today he's looking for extras. You can make $216 a day. I saw you write that in the comment section on Joe's video this morning, or live stream this morning. Okay. Susan says this is the first time one of these screens is going to be in Maine. Wonderful. Well, why don't you reach out to him? Are you Facebook friends with Cozen? I can actually reach out to him and see if he's going to go to it. Yeah, thank you, James. Again, um, the last couple that I have from Taiwan, I mean, they're not the best pressings, but I mean, they still play. And but it's just really cool how sometimes countries will change up the cover. Okay, I mean, we all know what the cover looked like in the U.S. and U.K. and everywhere else around the world, but the good people in Taiwan decided they wanted to do a different cover. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right. So what else is going on with everybody? We are going to drop our latest episode this weekend, which we did our look at the Mind Games box set. With how busy we've been, our schedules just haven't really meshed, unfortunately, lately. But um, but we finally recorded it, and we're gonna drop it. We're gonna drop it this weekend, this Saturday. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Check it out. I mean, I could reach out to him as well. James, old Tom, I have a friend in Oceans, New Jersey, and her cinema are looking into showing, if they can find a U.S. distributor. I'm lucky. Okay, cool. So we're talking about one hand clapping, right, James? Um, I know Andy is going to be seeing it 2 times. I just don't remember where he's going to be seeing it. But I'm glad he's going. I'm glad he's going. Hmm. Yes, James says. One hand clapping. Hmm. So, that being said, what else? What else is going on out there? Let's see here. Hmm. And we've got Gary joining us. Hello, Gary. How are you? What's going on? What's going on? Um, I want to talk about also we're doing starting research for our third installment. Laura, hello. Our third installment of our Paul and George relationship show, which deals with the media, right? Things that they were saying about or to each other in whether in interviews, newspapers, video, music, if you will. And we're just looking at all of that, and then we're getting into the 80s now. And then one of the books that I've been using to do this research is called The Beatles After the Breakup, 1970 to 2000. Okay, and this book deals with a lot of those instances where they talk about what the Beatles had said about each other in different publications, different newspapers, articles, you name it, that kind of stuff is in here. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you might find YouTube videos that are in here. Especially during the 80s, which is what we're doing right now. This is the period where, George disappeared a little bit, wasn't really doing a lot of appearances. Paul was still kind of having some success, and then George comes back and has the big, massive success with Cloud Nine. Let's see here. Susan, has anybody pre-ordered the upcoming Mind Games? But I have not. I have not, and that's kind of where I'm going to draw the line on Mind Games. I hope people, if they get it, I hope they enjoy it. Susan, I'm getting it soon. Okay, let's see here, James. I guess we'll get a one hand clapping Blu-ray around Christmas. Possible. It's possible. Why not? I say bring it on. The more releases, the better, in my opinion. James says I have that book. It's a great, yeah, it's a great detailed book about what they were doing, their day-to-day activities. They're traveling. Holiday vacations. You name it. It's that is in here. See here, Tony does the me. Oh, Lang will be back on. Oh, you mean Owen? Yeah, yeah. Owen Lang will definitely be back on. We've already discussed a few things, and we've been exchanging videos. Especially George. George had a lot to say about Paul, especially in the '80s. Especially in the '80s. Yes, it is a fantastic book. Let's see here, James Keith Barron had another book that followed that. Yeah, and you know what? I did see it at the fest. I did see it at the fest. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta pick that up, and completely forgot about it. Completely forgot about it. Richard, that's a Clockwork Orange shirt. It is a Clockwork Orange shirt. There you go. Um, I've got a long history with this film. I first saw Clockwork Orange when I was 10 years old, when I shouldn't have been seeing it, but I did, and that's a story for another time. Susan, I'll probably get them. Tony, okay, so that's for Tony. Let's see here. Third installment, I have to go to the first. Yes. If you go back into it, go back to the YouTube channel, Laura, and you will see, Paul George Volume 1, Paul George Volume 2. And we had a great time with Owen. Owen is another, fan of researching and history. He's a big George fan, and we thought it'd be great to collaborate with him, as we have done with many, many podcasters and authors. And one of the things that I'm most proud of with doing this show is, being able to become friends with a lot of these people that we've collaborated with, whether it's Owen Ling or if it's Sam Wiles, who does the other Beatles podcast sorry, Paul McCartney podcast from across the pond. People like Joe Mayo and the Queen and Ken Michaels, Cozen, all those people. It's just been so proud to be able to, call them friends and have been able to podcast or talk to uh, for many years now. Many years now. So, Caesar, yes, I have that book. Very cool. How are you? Thanks for joining. And hello, Henry. How are you? And Tony, I fell asleep during Clockwork Orange. Was late and I was tired. Well, you definitely want to be awake uh, for for Clockwork Orange. Definitely. But that being said, so yeah, I mean, volume three or part three, whatever you want to say it, third chapter of our Paul George relationship show. That's going to be coming soon. When I'm not 100% sure, maybe next month. But again, I'm just now slowly starting to do the research on that. There's a lot of videos out there of George, talking or taking the Mickey. out of uh, out of Paul. The most famous one is when the interviewer goes to ask George about Paul redoing songs for Broad Street, and then George saying, well, maybe he just doesn't have any more good ones of his own. That's just a great clip from George. But the thing is like even though throughout throughout the solo years, George really doesn't. I mean, I'm sorry, Paul really doesn't criticize George much. We did talk about it, I think, in the first volume where Paul does kind of criticize George a little bit for his '74 tour, meaning he didn't do as many of the hits as maybe he should, or changing lyrics around. But Paul should talk because he changed the lyrics during Broad Street on Here, There, and Everywhere. But anyways, um, so I'm looking forward to getting that. Jesus, you're 10. Well, yeah, Susan, it's a little bit of a story. We were just returning from my grandfather's funeral or wake or whatever. So all the family members, we went back all back to my grandma's house, and all the adults were in the kitchen, all reminiscing, um, talking, telling stories about my grandfather. While I don't know how or why was I the only kid awake or there. But anyways, I was in the living room and watching because they had HBO and just having it on, and then all of a sudden this movie came on, and I just watched it. Um, and it wasn't for another 8 years until I was 18 when I discovered what it was. But I always had that movie in my mind. Um, James Owen has some odd opinions, but that's the fun he does. So no matter how wrong he is, well, that's that again, and we like that, right? I mean, that's what makes these shows interesting is when people have different opinions. I, you know, I tend to have different opinions than he does, as he does, but sometimes I kind of like look outside the box, and I don't always have the same opinions as other people do. But again, I mean, that's what I think makes these shows a little bit more interesting. Okay. Um, hold on. Let's see here, Roy. Paul McCartney was put as the richest drummer in front of Ringo. Was that fair to class Paul as a drummer? Well, I mean, he's drummed on a lot of his albums, right? I mean, look, he did the drumming on Maybe I'm Amazed. Okay, he did the drumming on Band on the Run, right? He did the drumming on McCartney too. Okay, he's done some drumming sprinkled all throughout his later half of his career. Right. So so yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to put him as a drummer. Obviously, we would want to rather have him as the bass player, but he's a very versatile musician who can play just about anything. Uh, well, Malcolm McDowell is a fantastic actor. I'm really looking forward to the new version of Caligula that's coming out, the controversial film. I mean, if you can top A Clockwork Orange, he found a way to top Clockwork Orange, although it wasn't necessarily his reason why the finished product of a Caligula turned out the way it did. And I've been learning a lot about that. But I think Malcolm McDowell is a fantastic actor. I would, so much so that I may put him in my top 10. What I've seen of his work, especially like the movie he did between If and A Clockwork Orange, or was it the other way around? But anyways, it's called The Raging Moon, which is a film that I really love and glad that I finally watched. Laura, speaking of Clockwork Orange, Bill Maher just dropped a club. Yes, I watched that. A lot of Beatle talk. Bill Maher is a big Beatle fan for sure. I love how HBO is in a Ringo song and everybody's okay. Hey, how you doing? Hello, Tom. Did you get the Uncut Magazine CD sampler? No, no. I did see that some of our friends did get it. Like Joe Mayo, he found a copy. Maybe I should head over to Barnes and Noble and see if I can find a copy. James, Lucky Paul didn't criticize George and his adult. He knew, of course. Yeah. So getting back to that. So yes. So George did criticize Paul. I mean, look, he's he would know better than anyone, right? how to deal with Paul and his experience with Paul. So it's really not for us to to judge the way he talks about Paul, but it is fun to talk about how how George did criticize Paul throughout his life, because look, I mean, some of the things that Paul may have done or said about George maybe just wasn't in the you know it was maybe just a tinge off color or something like that. But we love to talk about it. We love to do the research on that stuff. Good to see you right after. um, let's see here. It's like two therapy sessions. Gary, Tom, do you still have the Paul's album cover framed? Yes. Okay. So, thank you for that, Gary. Yes. So I moved. Okay, I was in Arizona, and I moved to Michigan. As you can see, I don't know if I'm in my final destination in Michigan, but I'm going to be in Michigan now for several. I don't see myself moving out of Michigan for many years. But when I get into settle into a place that I'm going to probably call home for years to come, then I'm going to get that all set up again. But thank you. Uh, James, I don't know what you're talking about on that comment, but Malcolm was the only good thing about the two Robs on it. Yeah, probably. I did see the first one. I didn't think it was great, so I didn't bother with the second one. I mean, we've talked about that on Joe's live chats. Um, I'm hoping Last Flight with the Wings 79 live gets. Okay, so I'm very hopeful for that stuff. Now with the release of the proposed double album of Red Rose Speedway with this one hand clapping, I'm speculating that this is how these future releases are gonna come. Unfortunately, not in a box set, but with these smaller, um, less pricey releases. This is just my take. As much as I believe me, I want box sets nonstop. Give me box set for every album Paul has done. But I'm kind of thinking that those box sets, those days are done. Uh, Unfortunately, that day is done. As he goes, George thought Paul's 1993 shows were too long. Another dig. Yeah. But were they? I mean, they're shorter than what they are now. I mean, now his shows are um, damn near 3 hours, right? If not 3 hours. So, and back in '93, I believe there was probably around the 2 hour mark. If I remember correctly, that was the first time that I saw Paul. And well, I mean, what did George do? A half hour, like the Beatles? But George probably did closer to an hour and a half. But Paul's the forever the showman. He wants to give people their money's worth, and I thank Paul for that. Um, Favorite Elton John song has probably always been "Leave On." I'm a big fan of "Leave On," but there's other songs that I absolutely adore, like "Amarina" and many, 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 many others. Dino, how you doing? Enjoy watching all the stuff you guys and others posted in Chicago. That would be great. If you can get there one day, Dino, I would absolutely love meeting you in person. And hey, look, let's try to do something one day. Let's try to get you on the show on two legs and find up come up with a good topic and have a great discussion. Okay? Um Mail, listen, I'm telling you the Wings archives will come. I hope so. Joe, and I'm saying yes. I hope so too. I don't think so. I think they're done. Um, let's see here. You think we'll ever get a what was that Magical Mystery Tour box set? Hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping they release remaster everything, right? Or else why bother going through all these releases if you're only going to release certain ones, right? I don't necessarily agree with that. If you're gonna go back and remix or remaster certain things, go back and do everything. Just don't do certain releases. I think that would be lame. I wonder if Paul and Denny's Lane's Estate are still planning a remix of Daylight. Yeah, again, see, with that being said, again, who's on that album, right? That's Paul owns all of Buddy Holly's stuff, right? Okay, so I think that would be a nice release. I think when we get to that 50th anniversary, I think that that stuff will come. And then speaking of the Crickets, I did just pick up the album Paul produced, and I think he does play on it from the mid '80s, called T-shirt. I think this was from '88. So I did just did pick that up. So nice little release there. Okay. Rory says George said Paul took things too seriously. If he had more fun, might get back to playing with him again. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking it seriously? But I get what George is saying. I get it. But, if you're gonna, create music, you know, be at your best. Do the best you can do. Take it a little seriously, but have fun doing it, right? Kind of like playing sports, right? It's a kid's game. I mean, you want to have fun, but you're also taking serious. Look, you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars, right, from your contract, right? I mean, if you have a record deal, hopefully you have a good record deal, and you're getting paid all this money. Maybe you should take it a little seriously, but have fun doing it. Yes, I do agree with that. Where's the for Bangladesh video? The clip looks good. Um, yeah, I mean, it was released on DVD, what, back in '04, '05, '06, around that time. I have it still. Unfortunately, it's in box in a box somewhere. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it deserves a upgrade to Blu-ray. Would love for that to happen one day, and I'll be first in line to pick that up. Um, Dino will definitely come on. I have the spent the last few days getting all my members sorted out for Liverpool this week. Yeah, so you have a great time with that. I mean, I'm jealous. I would love to get to the Beatles week in Liverpool. Um, have an amazing time. Get do some videos, show some pictures. And I will definitely be watching for your updates and letting us know how it was. So please let us know. Michael, I wanted to remix and remaster it back to the egg. Now, no, yesterday. Yeah, all of us do. All of us want that now. I agree. I'm just saying, in my opinion, we're just going to have to wait until the 50th anniversary and do the half speed master. I'll venture this saying this, and I've said this before. If the 50th anniversary of London Town half speed master comes out before a London Town box set and back to the egg box set, then I'm going to say it's over. So what do we got? 4 years. Let's see here. How do you feel about Now and Then? Now it's been almost a year. I still think it's a fantastic song. I heard bands play it last weekend at the Fest for Beatles fan, and Liverpool was playing it one night. I think it was Friday or Saturday night. I can't remember which, but it's still to me a very emotional song. Um, you know, when I listen to it, I try not to think of anybody in particular because then you can get, it's like I said, so it's a very powerful emotional song, and I can just see myself, listening to it and thinking of particular people, and then just bawling my eyes out, and I don't really necessarily want to do that. Okay, me, Mr. Mayo, Bob Dylan movie trailer looks great. Yeah, so at the screening of Alien Romulus, hold on one second, yesterday, they did show the trailer for A Complete Unknown, right? Is that what it's called? The Bob Dylan bio. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of biopics, especially the latest batch. And I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen them, so I shouldn't criticize them. I'm not going to. But I'm curious about this one. I'm a big Ed Norton fan. One of the most unutilized actor in recent years has been Ed Norton, and whether or not that's because of past difficulties on movie sets, that's not us for us to decide, but I'm really looking forward to seeing this film starring Timothy Chalamet, which Henry just said. Yeah, Timothy Chalamet was a great casting decision for Bob Dylan. I expect him to be nominated. Could be, could be. And yeah, yeah, Henry. But first, let's see the movie exactly. Let's see the movie. Henry says, I'd love to see the new Bob Dylan movie, but first, that gives Ed Norton a comeback. Yes. And people like Ed Norton, right? Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, um, Ed Harris, they're very passionate about their art, their work, their trade. And a lot of times they stay in character. Joaquin Phoenix, another one. And some people don't like that because just because of the way they are, depending on the character. Um, Ed Norton has had his issues in the past on film sets. Russell Crowe, list goes on and on and on. But that doesn't make them say, unwatchable or unusable or not bank worthy. Um, so I'm hoping this is a new gives Ed Norton new life in films because a film buff like myself loves Ed Norton and wants to see him in more films. George was he's in the mud sometimes. I like that, buddy. I like that. Yes. Uh, like t-shirts. I remember Paul and MP asking fans asked to write a song for Buddy Holly week, and t-shirt was the winning song. Okay, now that I did not know, so I'm glad you told me the story of t-shirt again. And Jay Emre, Imre, whatever. This is produced by Paul, and I think Paul does play on it as well. So I've been getting stuff like that lately. Now that I have a lot of the 45s from around the world that I'm happy with. Now I'm starting to get stuff that Paul either performed on, wrote, or produced. Like this one, as we know, he wrote "Come and Get It" and gave it to Badfinger. All right. We know he uh he wrote and produced Goodbye, right, for Mary Hopkins. So those are the latest things that I've been, slowly starting to get. Okay. Let's see here. Cool, you got t-shirt. I have that too. It's a cute song. Yeah, Susan, I still haven't played it. Maybe when I get done here, I'll play it. What do we got here? James Paula's playing the music biz game. George didn't. So, well, yeah, I mean, both of them had their issues, right? I mean, Paul had issues with the way Capitol promoted London Town, which kind of hence, got him to leave Capitol and go to Columbia. George had his issues with somewhere in England, right, where he had to get rid of, tracks and replace them. Um, so both of them had to play the game. It's just unfortunate that George might not, maybe because George didn't have as much success as Paul did. I think definitely Paul had the right to do or earned, I should say, the right to do whatever he wanted with the success he had had up to that time. And George, I mean, yeah, it's coming off swinging, hitting a home run right off the bat with two great albums, but then kind of slowly started fading a little bit with that obviously Dark Horse, the tour, Extra Texture. Say what you will about that album. I love it, but I also recognize that it's not the best in his in his catalog, right? So, but yeah, George definitely had some issues with recording studios. I mean, that's one of the great things about meeting Aaron Judgley at the last few years at the fest. He wrote the great Dark Horse book. Definitely check that out. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me grab it real quick and I'll show you guys. Sorry, it's Aaron Badgley. Okay, so he wrote the book Dark Records, the story of George Harrison post Beatles record label. So check that out. We'll gonna have him on the show for a bonus episode or something like that soon. Okay. Going moving on here. You mentioned you're a big fan of Paul Newman. What's your? Oh, you're gonna turn this. Let's not turn this into a movie chat, Henry. But I will probably say that's HUD. HUD is probably my favorite performance of his. Um, The Hustler, I think, is fantastic. But would you recommend for someone who's never seen a film of his? Um, wow. I would. There's so many. The Verdict. I would recommend to someone who's never seen a Paul Newman film. HUD, The Hustler. So many great films of Paul Newman's. Um, 45 watching. Yes, thank you, Laura. Thumbs up. So please, if you're new here, thank you. And this is what I keep forgetting to write down. If you're new here, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. Dino, Alien Ramos was amazing. Saw it yesterday. I've never jumped so much watching a movie. Well, okay, so do check out the video that I did with Joe Mayo on his movie channel because we did do a little review, and I know Joe posted a review on his movie channel as well. But I was expecting this to happen, right? Because the face huggers or whatever they want to call them, you know, when you see the trailer, you have a sense that that's what they're dealing with. You see them cracking, or breaking through one of the screen doors, and then they're just running after them. I was kind of expecting it. There's only really one instance where I was really kind of, I felt um, unease, right? And I mean, that was the first time really when they were starting to thaw out, if you will. They were heating up the room that they were in, and then all of a sudden, all of these face huggers they were frozen. And once they started roaming around and all that stuff, it was like, okay, I know we know what we're dealing with, and all of a sudden, here's gonna they're gonna jump up, and so I was expecting it, and I'm glad you liked it. I didn't like it as much as I was hoping to. I heard so many great I heard so many great things about the film that it was, harkening back to the original, and it was as fun as the Aliens, the sequel. So I was really going in, expecting a little bit of a better movie, but I was slightly disappointed. They visited so many different aspects of past Alien films, especially, an alien human hybrid, right? Because they had done that in Alien Resurrection. So there was really nothing new about the Alien franchise that they did, but I'm the fan of the director. He rebooted the Evil Dead franchise. That Evil Dead movie that came out a couple years ago, I thought was pretty good. The best music biopic was Walk the Line. That is a good one. I will admit I do really like the Doors biopic. And it's been a long time since I've seen La Bamba. La Bamba, I think, is a really good biopic as well. And the one that I haven't seen in a long time that I wouldn't mind seeing again is Great Balls of Fire. With Dennis Quaid and Winona Ryder. Who doesn't want to watch Winona Ryder? Ed Norton and Rob. Yes, there you go. Let's see here. As I try to catch up here, I'm back. I thought bought lemonade for the kids. All right, cool. Let's see here. Hello, hello, Mr. Rob Skier Music. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. There you go. Norton, I think, should have won Best Actor for. Yeah, he was fantastic in that. Absolutely, absolutely. I concur. Do you think it's a bad idea to do Beetlejuice after so long? Well, history is starting to show that yes, it is a bad idea, right? You've got all of these films from the 80s and early 90s that they're trying to bring back, okay? And all these films that the younger generation have no clue, the Gen Zers, the later half, the millennials, they have no clue about Beetlejuice or Ghostbusters or Indiana Jones. So they're bringing back all these films. Now I want to see this. I'm definitely going. I'm a big fan of Beetlejuice, the original, and this movie is geared towards, boomers and Gen Xers like myself. So I think it's going to be good. I mean I want to hope it's good. The trailers look good. So let's go from there. Uh, we got a bunch of hays there. Um, we got Nick. How you doing? Tom, sorry I missed most of this one. Hey, that's fine. Hey, let's go back and watch it if you feel like it. Okay. I had no idea who Pete Seeger was, but looked at him in the trailer and gotta say Norton was great casting. Yeah, yeah. Ed Norton's great casting. Period. Or Edward Norton, if you want to call it. Let's see. Paul has always been insecure. You think that's why he released all the color variants boxes? No, no, I don't. That's the record label wanting to sell more records. Okay. I don't think he's always been insecure. I think he has been insecure. Okay. When he asks, like, hey, should maybe, should I release, he had an issue of confidence as well. Releasing, I'll get to somebody's comments here in a second, but, he had, he was skeptical about releasing My Love, right? He didn't want to release anything from the Band on the Run album as singles. So he's always been having, issues, insecurities, and confidence issues. And my buddy there, Joe Mayo, is having a good time singing "Can't Stop Thinking About You," which is one of my favorite songs from Extra Texture. Okay, Rob just started a new. Oh, it's right. Yeah, Tony, you did start a new movie channel. I think that's Tony's D's music channel. I subscribe and check it out, everybody. Tom, now, which one, the original or the remake? I'm only going with the remake. I never saw. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm going with the original. Never saw the remake. I have no desire to see the remake, even though it's got a great cast, right? George C. Scott. You got Tony Soprano, in there as well. So yes, and I know I know you're having a fun time with that. So yes. I want you to know Paul Newman for pasta sauce and pizza, Tony. Yeah, all that stuff goes to charity. Richard, here we go again, and trying to take a. Well, he's not going to, Richard, so don't worry. But you know what? If he does ask a question that that I want to answer, I'm gonna take it. Okay. Let's see here. Tony, yes, hit the thumbs up, people. Thank you very, very much. I think we should call it color vinyl. It's all about getting. Well, yeah, okay, part of that, yes. But again, guys, it's the music business, right? It's not music friends. All right. We're not going to be, yeah, when you're starting out and you want to get your music out there, you're going to give, you know, CDs to your friends and everything. But when you're in the actual music business, it's about making money. It's about making money. The studio, the musicians. That's all I'll say about that. Do you know how to link Live Nation to Ticketmaster? No. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure I know what you're trying to ask with that question. Um, it's because he's into Secure Susan. Okay. Yes. Right. What do we got here? We got Laura. I never realized how cranky George could be. Kind of funny, though not such quite. Yes. The whole Quiet Beetle is such a big joke. Such a big joke. But again, just like his music, he kind of gets outshined by Lennon and McCartney. Um, John never being, the wittiest, and George being such a, dry, humorous type. But what else is going on out there? It's been about an hour. I'm going to stick around for a little longer. If you guys still have more comments and questions you want to get to, let's see here. Um, I don't know what you're asking there. Ed Norton was named for the character, right? I don't know. Go to his Wikipedia page and maybe you can find out. Did you guys can't? No, we just haven't got to it yet. Since I moved to Michigan, I don't have the same job I had in Arizona, where it was a kind of a day job. I had Sundays and Mondays off. Uh, unfortunately, now I'm working nights, and well, I should say I'm working more mid shifts. So, if I start work at noon, then I'm gonna work until 9 or 8. I have to get up at sometimes I work till 10 or 11 o'clock, and it's just not possible to do a stuck inside these four walls, afterwards. And then I would have to get up at 7, 8 in the morning. So would everybody else, except for Tone. But go to Tone's YouTube channel, and you can find out what's going on with Tone. And Beatly Tone, we're all thinking of you. We love you, and we hope you know come back better, stronger, and better than ever. Did you meet? Well, I've met Skylar in New York or New Jersey. The first fest that I attended, I had met Skylar, and we had done a panel together. We did a Beatles media panel where we talked about our what we use to bring you guys the content we want to bring you. But yes, I know Skylar. Yes, I have known her. Okay. Lauren agreed. George certainly didn't seem happy with a lot of his. Well, maybe he was happy. I mean, I'm sure he was happy in the garden, right? I'm sure he was happy, watching Formula One racing. I'm sure he was happy playing ukuleles with his friends. I'm sure there was a lot of happiness in his life. I still need to see the first Beetlejuice. Well, whenever you're ready. Better late than never, there, Joe. Better late than never. Do you like thrillers? If yes, go see the new skincare. You mean the substance? Oh no, skincare. Okay, yeah. So it is playing at a theater near me. Maybe if you recommend it, maybe I'll check it out. There is another one coming out with Demi Moore called Substance that I'm really looking forward to checking out. Let's see here. Danny seems like the kind of guy I always thought George was. Okay, interesting. James, we all have our flaws, so Paul having some isn't news. Exactly. Same with John. I mean, we all have our flaws. It shouldn't be, headline breaking, oh my God, news. You know, I could go on, but I'm not going to. I'll save it for other people. What's your take on Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn? Listen, she's very talented, but again, when the movie comes out, then I'll cast my judgment. I mean, she's very talented, and I'm not going to put her down for taking the role um, until I see the film. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing Joker 2. Tom, I could give you a crash course on Alan Parsons. Listen, I know all about Alan Parsons. Um, but no, I don't need a crash course on Alan Parsons. But thank you, Tony. Thank you. Detroit Rock City, absolutely Rush. Detroit Rock City, and I'm really excited. Morrissey is coming to Michigan, and I should just I gotta wait until the next payday, and tickets are still available. I'm gonna go see Morrissey here in Michigan. I believe it's in the fall. Um, I think there's some people out there watching that are Morrissey fans, so looking forward to that. David, how you doing? Tom, I just got the same McCartney shop display as you have. It's searching for ages. The main issue is finding space. Yeah, that's always the big issue. I mean, look at our friend Joe Mayo's videos. I mean, look at everything he's got. I mean, he's almost. I would say, Joe, you're probably what 110% now out of space, but yet you're still finding, places to put stuff. Let's see here, James. True. About every insecurities, they don't go away just because you become famous. Well, do you want them to go away? Do you want them to keep creating music? I do. Enjoying the new Ian. Yes, book. Yes, glad you got it. So yeah, here we go. I was very fortunate to get this book from Ian. Not getting the long naughties, 98 to 2009. So I got to get on it. I got to start reading this thing because Andy and I will be doing a review on this book soon. Okay. Let's see here. George was stuck inside his Paul cloud for most of his life. Possibly, possibly. Let's see here. Henry, I saw an interview with Martin Short saying that he got high with George Harrison. I would love to get high with George Harrison. I would love to. Yeah, and there's Joe. It's never news that John had flaws. Paul always news. Real? I don't know about that, Joe. I mean, I've done I've read a lot of interviews. You know, read a lot of stuff that about people talking about Paul and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know. See Wednesday. No, I have no interest in the Wednesday. I do like Jenna Ortega. I just actually watched for the first time because I saw the movie Maxine in the theater. So I just picked up X. Hadn't seen it yet. So this is the first film in the X trilogy. Which this is followed by Pearl, which was a prequel, and then Maxine, which was the sequel to X. And I enjoyed X. I thought it was really good. Let's see here. George was not found fond of playing live or performing. Yeah, that's not old. That's not new news. A lot of us knew that. But you have to get out there. You have to, unfortunately, just because you're a Beatle doesn't mean you're gonna sell records. You have to get out there. You got to sell You got to find other ways to sell your music. Um, David, how do I get the book? Well, I don't think it's officially out just yet, Tony. Morrissey puts on an amazing show. He's still got a great voice. Yes, I think he's in his 60s now. Yeah, there you go, Amazon. Um, Henry says Tug of War is honestly one of my favorite Paul. It's a lot of people's favorite Paul record. Uh, I think it's a great album. Hello, Music Sound Gear. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. If you got high with George, he could tell you how awful it was to be a Beatle. Um, yes, but I'm sure he didn't mind all the money he made, um, and all the fame that he got for being a Beatle. So there you go. It's not only an ebook, right? Okay, so we're still talking about that book. Let's see here. Is it true that Mind Games didn't chart? Ports. You mean the new box set? I think it did chart in the UK. We have to do another episode of Talk More Talk here soon and get the news. Um, and then, to be honest with you, I don't know if I heard or looked. George maybe should have been a factory worker or something. Didn't seem that is a mix. Um, Funny. You like Romulus, or you like Rumors? It's a top five album for me. You want to know something? I have no desire to listen to the album Rumors. Okay, I've heard so many of the songs on radio, um, and I've never listened to Rumors as a album. I had never had any desire. I've never been a big Fleetwood Mac fan to begin with, anyways. And with any of their incarnations, Bob Welch, the opening, the bluesier stuff. Never been a big fan of Fleetwood Mac. I mean, yeah, there's some really good songs that they recorded, and if it's a top five album for you, I say bravo. Let's see here. He was an introverted next world. Uh, I'm in Liverpool on Sunday, going to Beatles pub crawl with mates. Excellent, excellent. Love to hear that. No, Tony, that's no. Tom, did you see Anatomy of Fall? It was fantastic. Yes, I did see Anatomy of a Fall. Criterion Collection released it. I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in theaters, but I did watch it once Criterion um, released it. Yeah, Rumors one of the greatest albums of all time, and I know you love it, and that's great. That's great. I mean, one day I should just listen to it, the whole thing, just to say that I can say that that I've heard of rumors. But to be honest with you, I just don't care. I don't care. I don't care about some some of the biggest albums of all. Frampton Comes Alive. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care if I ever hear it. So many of those great big albums. Hotel California, again, another one. Yes, I've heard that whole album, but I mean, I just don't care about it anymore. However, one of my favorite songs of all time is on Hotel California called Try and Love Again. Love that song. Randy Meisner, rest in peace. My top five: Revolver, White Album Man Road, Hard Day's Night. No rumors. um, Listen, Andy and I, a few years back, we did our top 30 non-Beatles related albums of all time. So go back and check that out, Russ, if you hadn't, or anybody else that's watching. Um, check out those three videos. We did 10 albums for each video. Just to give you kind of a preview. I love, in my top 30. I think I had Sad Wings of Destiny, the Judas Priest album, Girlfriend from Matthew Sweets. Um, Love that album. Obviously, Dark Side of the Moon, I think, was one of the greatest songs or greatest albums of all time. Willie Nelson's Red-Headed Stranger, I think, is incredibly underrated. More people need to know about that album. And it was only a matter of time before Henry mentioned my favorite actor. I promise this will be my only dinner question. Did you see him jump off the yacht on his birthday? No, I did not. I know he just celebrated his 81st birthday a couple days ago. And I got to tell you, it's kind of sucks having your favorite musician of all time in his 80s and your favorite actor of all time in his 80s. This kind of sucks, you know, because unfortunately that day's going to come, and I don't want to think about it, but I did. So there you go. Tony Ken Michaels was great journalism. Yeah, so Ken Michaels just did a great interview with Brian Ray. I heard really good things about. I shouldn't say I haven't watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to checking that out. So good on ya, Ken Michaels. I gotta try to find out where I left off here. So give me a second. Um, Yes, and obviously, so now you're being a troll there, Joe. You're being a troll. Bringing up monkeys. You know I don't like the monkeys. White Album is hands down my favorite Beatles album. Listen, Revolver, probably my favorite. I mean, we did a show with Ken Michaels, Joe, myself, and a couple others where we talked about and we presented why this particular album that we picked was our favorite Beatles album. I picked Revolver. I think Joe and Ken Michaels, I think they picked the White Album, which is great. You got all that variety, right? But the Revolver album, I think, was their first album that had all those different genres of music, and they turned it into a rock pop classic masterpiece. And not to say that the White Album's not a masterpiece, because it is, but I just think Revolver might be a touch better. Village Green Preservation Society King. Yes, fantastic record. Listen to that on. I think did we listen when I went to go visit Ethan? We listened to that record, one of his many copies of that. Good stuff. Jaden, how you doing? What's your favorite Neil Young record? Good question. I just picked up the new one he just released, "Fucking Up." I did get to see Neil Young earlier this year, a couple months ago, which was fantastic. Hadn't seen him since the '90s. But favorite album, wow. Um, Maybe everybody knows this is Nowhere. His second album, I like that one a lot. I mean, listen, Harvest is great. On the Beach is fantastic, but I think I'll go with the second. Who do you consider an underrated drummer? Ah, jeez. So I think a lot of people know Phil Collins, but I think his singing overshadows how great he is as a drummer. Maybe. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Um, okay. James, how you doing? I love Kate Bush, but she was big here in the UK. Never. Yeah. Um, I might tackle Kate Bush one day. I know she had the song on Stranger Things, earlier this year or last year that became a hit. Did it become a hit here or just a hit in the UK again? I don't know. Um, let's see here. um, I always defend John. His controversies have always been grossly exaggerated. Okay. James Brian Ray's new album is pretty enjoyable. Great. I like to hear that. Uh, what about Ringo Starr? Oh, you're asking that for Joe. Okay, so go ahead. Hey, how you doing, Bitsong? Tom, did you ever get to the Love Show when you lived out west? I made it in June to hear the soundstage. So cool. Yes. So yes, I did. I got there twice. Once when I was 40, for my 40th, and then again last year for my 50th. It was one of the last things I did while I was in Arizona, and at that point, excuse me, at that point they had changed the or not changed the set list, but they had made some changes, um, and it was just as enjoyable as it was the first time. So I had a great experience with the Love Show. Um, I'm a fan of most of the soundtrack. I don't know what is it? Is it yesterday into Blackbird, right? I mean, if that's the case, I don't necessarily think I'm a big fan of that. I think they should have just left it alone, or was it Blackbird into yesterday? Um, I don't remember, but I just remember thinking, they should have just left that alone. De Niro seems fine. Well, you now listen. You said that was the last time you're going to mention De Niro, but yeah, he does. He seems very. Um, I hope so. I hope he makes it to 90. Yes, I'm just so glad that I live in a time where from the beginning of my life that I've got to enjoy him and Paul McCartney. You know, De Niro and Paul McCartney, my two biggest joys in the film and music medium. Right. Let's see here. Rory, a bit of trivia. The Beatles is the only rock group to have number one hit in the UK for over 4 years. Hmm. Okay. Dick Van Dyke. I hope he makes it. What he just turned 99. Right. All right, Joe. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion. Uh, I haven't listened to that one. James, I will check that one out. Hello, Ollie. Hope you're doing well. Tony, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Um, Joe's being a troll here. Running up that hill was a big hit for Kate in the U.S. after Stranger Things, but of course, nothing doing after that. Yeah, I'm curious if that helped her, her album sales. Um, I wonder if people went back and they picked up some of her albums. Maybe they did. Sometimes sometimes having a song on a hit show uh, does that. It sparks renewed interest, and the younger generations will learn about that artist, and that's great. Okay, I can't say I'm a big Hollies fan. Let's see, Tom. You also got to enjoy. Yes, that is right, Joe. I enjoyed him not doing any monkey songs. There you go, my friend. Tom. Rumor has it that Paul is bringing out Pneumonia, however you want to pronounce it, in his new set. If he does, fantastic. I say great. Um, he hasn't performed that one live, I don't think, right? Is that one of the only songs on well, okay, so that one and then the US version of Band on the Run, because that has Helen Wheels on it, right? That's another song that he hasn't performed live, is Helen Wheels. So I would much rather have Helen Wheels instead of Pneumonia, but that's just me. Let's find out that the Kinks did not get along with the Beatles. Ray ripped Revolver. Yes, yes, he did. And again, I mean, maybe there's some jealousies, maybe there's some competitions there, but um, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy the Kinks. Obviously not as much as a Beatles fan as Beatles, but I do have a lot of Kinks stuff on CD. Um, don't you love A Night at the Opera? Great album. Yes, I do love A Night at the Opera. However, I am so tired of Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, and I blame Wayne's World for that. Um, Bohemian Rhapsody was like those songs, was like one of those songs where you would introduce a younger fan, a younger like a nephew or a younger cousin or something like that who's slowly starting getting into music, and then Bohemian Rhapsody like here, check this out, right? It was like a one of the great hidden songs or great tracks that not a lot of people maybe knew about, especially into the late '90s, early 2000s. And then Wayne's World comes out. What did that come out? 92, 93, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Bohemian Rhapsody has been a staple. And rightfully so. Listen, it's a great song. I'm not putting down Bohemian Rhapsody, but kind of like what Sopranos did for Don't Stop Believing, right? I mean, Don't Stop Believing was a great track. Um, but it was popular, but it wasn't as soon as it appeared on the end of Sopranos, then again it just took off. I'd like Soily in the set list. Yeah, yeah, why not? Absolutely. Tom, Charlie, how you doing? Tom, just so happy that I was alive for the Beatles' first appearance. Great. Yeah, I mean, there's times where I wish I was a little older and I was able to experience seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. Yeah, I'm jealous for sure. That's a great experience. You know how many, well, millions of people, but how many people who actually got to see them on Ed Sullivan are still with us, and you're one of them. So I'm happy for you. I prefer Day at the Races, the follow-up. Yes, a lot of people like, Day at the Races. That's the one with Somebody Love on it, right? Which again is another fantastic track from Queen. Let's see here. Williams Rap Rumors. Boston, I don't need to hear again. Yeah, I mean, again, that first Boston album um was a mega hit, right? It was huge. I was alive to Fred Sullivan, but only one, and so you're nearly two. But what were your parent was your family watching it? Though Joe, did was that the case? But I'm gonna give it 7 minutes. I'm gonna round it out to 90 minutes here. So we've been live for 1 hour and 23 minutes. I'll go to 90 minutes. Hmm. Russ, I was 3 months old. First thing time I cried like a baby, apparently. I like that. I like that. Russ, again, mine was watching. Okay, cool. Your family was watching. Maybe that's why you were crying like a baby. Maybe you didn't like them at the time. Um, Susan, I saw them on that Sutherland show. I was 10. Okay, cool. See, now that's like the age right there, like, 9, 10, 11, then you can see like maybe, you grew up with or you grew up listening to Beatles music, or like if you were like a late teenager, you can say that you grew up with with the Beatles. Getting to experience that for the U.S., but obviously in the UK, it's a little different. If you found out about the Beatles while they're playing at the Cavern, I can say. How cool would that have been to be there from nearly the beginning, right? Because then they had previous years and stuff like that. But to have found the Beatles while they were playing at the Cavern, that for me, I think would have been the bomb. Uh, okay. It said I got quiet. Okay. All right. Russ, honest. I believe you. I believe you. David, as a Brit, it's hard to know why Ed Sullivan was so successful. He seems so wooden. Yeah, he does seem awkward from time to time. I mean, obviously, I had never watched an Ed Sullivan show. Um, he had some amazing people, amazing acts on his show. You can't deny that. And yeah, sometimes he does seem like he doesn't know who he's talking to or can't remember, the acts' names. I mean, that's just like clips that I've seen. He seems so awkward presenting them at sometimes, especially, the younger acts, as he's getting older. Um, but listen, his show will go down in history as one of the greatest variety shows of all time. Hold on one second. Wrong one here. I think they added Blackbird, Twist and Shout. To the Love Show, right? The whole fifth grade class watched. We knew weeks in advance that they were going to be on. Yeah, apparently everybody knew except for Paul McCartney. I mean, obviously they knew they were going to be booked. George had said um, that they were already previously booked. If you watch the Beatles anthology, Paul loves to tell that story. Well, we weren't going to go to number one. We weren't going to go to America without a number one hit. Well, Paul, doesn't work that way. Okay. Let's see here. David, which radios? Did you set up your movie collection in the basement? You're in now. No, no. A lot of my stuff, books, movies, Paul collection and stuff like that, are at a friend's house at the moment until I decide what it is I'm going to do or where am I going to go, where am I going to live, but um, permanently in the future. So. That's where they are now. One of my best friends who lives in New Jersey saw the Sullivan Show when she was 10. Are you sure it wasn't Susan? She's been obsessed with Paul since. She's coming over to see Paul with me in London in December. That is awesome. I am so happy for you guys. So happy for you guys that you're going to be able to see Paul again. And as we know, Andy and MVP, they're going, and I'm happy for them as well. I presented a lot of acts. Davy Jones was on the show before, so he was on the show before he was a monkey, right? All right. So, yeah. So 2 more minutes, and unless you just give me a barrage of questions, but we're gonna wind down here soon. But that being said, guys, check out the latest Talk More Talk on the Talk More Talk YouTube channel, and we did the panel. We did a live panel at the Fest for Beatles fan in Chicago. We did a Rack Our Brain episode where we had people send in opinionated questions, so that was a lot of fun. Check out Joe's movie channel, where Joe and myself we kind of like give a breakdown of the new Alien Romulus film, and that was a lot of fun. So thank you, George, or thank you, George, thank you, Joe, for having me on for that. See here. Thank you, Russ. Yeah, thank you for showing up. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Neil Diamond's the reason the Monkees were famous. He's a real. Yeah, well, listen, Neil Diamond is the songwriting genius. Yes, whether or not he's the reason why the Monkees were famous, maybe I'll disagree with you there. Maybe looks had something to do with it. Maybe their singing ability has something to do with it. Maybe their eventual musicianship, you know, had something to do with it. But Henry, that's for Monkees fans to say, not me. Thank you. Yes, thank you again, Russ. And there's Joe right on cue. The Monkees' big songs were more than just Neil Diamond. Yes, that's correct. I agree with that. Might be a weird opinion, but Neil Diamond is my top five. So Neil Diamond is fantastic. Actually, before I came to Michigan, I had bought his new 50th anniversary kind of 3 CD package. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. Neil Diamond throughout his whole career just put out loads and loads of great material. I love the way he presents them. I love his arrangements. Well, in the earlier days, some of his, late 70s or 80s stuff, I'm not the biggest fan of those are kind of adult contemporary, yeah, I'm going to say it, arrangements, but there you go. I watched Talk More Talk this morning. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Yes, but I'm a believer. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, Henry. So you're on your own there. Susan, Tom, thanks for doing this. Nice to pray. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hold on here. I'm gonna try to say goodbye to everybody. Henry, yes, yeah, that's right. Thanks to David. Thanks for popping on. Really appreciate it. Henry, you're just gonna have to, end it with that. Dino, catch you, catch you soon. Enjoy, and have a great time. And hopefully, we'll have a great show in the future. Um, Voice and Hart wrote many of the Monkees' best songs. There you go. It wasn't just Neil Diamond. Okay, I mean, there's many reasons why the Monkees were successful. Many. Okay. Hey, Mr. Broad, now you show up right as I'm leaving, showing up. Would have loved to have seen you here earlier, but I understand, you got things to do. Thank you, Henry. I appreciate you being here. Hot August Nights, great live, Neil. It is a great live, Neil Diamond. Joe, thank you for all your comments. I appreciate you being here, my friend. I will eventually, as I get better at this or more comfortable with this, I will eventually start bringing people up and having guests while I do this. I mean, I got a few ideas with guests in the future. But as of right now, I'm just gonna just work on myself here and just get better at this until I feel more comfortable. I wish I caught this. Well, Broad Street. I know you're recovering, and I hope you're feeling better. But thank you, Bernie. Appreciate it. And okay, I understand that, my friend. I understand. And like I said, I hope you're doing better. And thinking about you. And you know, last February, my friend. That's all I'll say. Last February. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for popping in. You guys really overwhelmed me. I didn't think there was going to get this many comments during the show, but really appreciative. So I will see you soon. I'm going to try to do this again next week. Catch Andy on Sundays. He tries to do his live stream on Sundays. Eventually, once I can get the a set schedule, but working in the restaurant business really is never a set schedule, or schedule wherever you are living. So like I said, our schedules are tough. But look, be on the lookout this weekend. We got our Mind Games preview or review video coming, and we got so much more in the works. So everybody, thank you again, and we will talk soon. Bye.